It was a very peculiar situation. She was beautiful and developed for her age. I was tall, dark, and not necessarily handsome. Let's just say I wasn't Don Juan. However, to add to my credit, I was intellectual, and most surely the greatest of all class clowns. She was a lower classman, a junior, I think, but she was slightly inconspicuous. In a crowd of loud and excited individuals, she would not stick out. I had not noticed her sitting in the back row of my French class. She talked among her friends and paid no mind to anything else. At least that's what I thought. Until class was dreadful. Ms. Wolford showed signs of drowsiness. We were about to end class, and the absence of the rough smell of chalk in my nose was a welcomed thought. It had been a slow sixth period, which was usually the best time of the day, but it was severely lacking that day. Evidently, this day was one that would make a difference, though at the time I didn't know it. For some unknown reason, maybe my mannerisms, the girl from the back row in an instant sat beside me. I could feel the change. Yet she remained silent as I screamed across the room in conversation with one of her friends who liked one of my homeboys. "No, I'm single. It's okay, I'm just focusing on graduating and going to college. No, I don't hate women." Abruptly, she entered the conversation, and she talked, and I listened in amazement. She could actually speak, and she had something to say. I was pleasantly surprised. She had long brown hair that periodically interrupted her vision. Her clothes fit her build as if tailored to her curves. Her caramel skin was smooth and resembled mahogany. Her warm, soft brown eyes were most inviting. Her voice, although soft and soothing, carried a hint of determination. The bell rang for next period. As we stood up, she held her small hand out, and it was directed at me. As I pulled my things together in my faded red backpack, I noticed that gesture and reciprocated by giving her my full attention. She was holding a small folded sheet of notebook paper with torn edges. I simply took it and slid it into my pocket and proceeded to the final period of the day. As I walked out of the room and down the hall, the thought of our first conversation overshadowed the fact that she had given me something. She walked to chemistry class, and my eyes followed her, and as if to agree to the aforementioned, she looked back at me as if to say that she was enthused about the attention being given her. So much was it appreciated that she lingered by her locker as if to bask. I couldn't turn myself away from her. In fact, I realized that besides my mother, she was the most beautiful creature I'd ever seen. The loud voice of my teacher overpowered all other sounds in the white corridor with freshly painted sky blue lockers. After cringing in pain, I entered the study hall room. Excited and curious, I delved into my front right side pocket and stole away the small, mysterious parchment that lay concealed from view. Strangely hesitant, I opened the letter. With a script that implied courage and a hint of fear, it read, "Charisse, 836, call me." Her number. But I won't call. This was a great practical joke to be played on someone else. This had better be a joke. I didn't have a girlfriend, and I wanted to remain without one. No use having strings going into a new situation. School was unusually ecstatic that next morning. I was overjoyed to see everyone in such good spirits. Even the principal didn't scream rebukes at me for not having on my uniform. I had never worn my uniform. I hated that thing. Something about stifling my only real means of expression was bothersome to me. But she paid it the least little attention. Rather, she smiled at me and told me to have a nice and productive day. And for the most part, it was both. Time seemed to fly speedily. Before I could gather myself, sixth period was upon me. I strolled into class in my generally enthusiastic manner and took my seat after greeting my fellow French disciples. She had not arrived, and that was fine with me. I needed a moment to prepare and ready myself. Class began, and I still didn't see her, so I devoted my attention to class. Amazingly, I forgot about the situation for a split second. It was called to question when class ended. There she was on the back row. She saw me and was about to come toward me. I stood as if to face the firing squad with some remnant of dignity.
Why didn't you call me?